This is Jimmy Darts.
This is for you, 500 bucks. Here's $1,000 for you. If either of you give me $5, you can have whatever's under his cowboy hat. You're gonna do it? All right, show him what he's got. You won 500 bucks.
He's accumulated 12 million followers in the last 2 years by surprising strangers with large amounts of money ranging from $100 to $100,000, and he continues to up the ante, having recently collaborated with MrBeast by giving away even more money.
Would you rather have $1,000 in cash right now, or
give $10,000 to someone random in the store?
Oh my God, I want to bread myself.
Well, there you go.
Today we'll break down the genius business behind one of the fastest growing creators on TikTok,
How he's able to give away so much money,
where it all comes from,
and why it's always a good idea to buy the mystery box on this episode of I Finally Went to the Gym.
proud of you.
My name is Jimmy Darts.
And so far the podcast is made.
$278,000.34.
Let's see that that's
That's
actually
a
pretty close.
incredible guess.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's
Just off the cuff, did you watch any of this?
I saw an episode probably from, 2-3 weeks ago or something like that.
That's pretty good. 266, 861.
Oh, I'm a little high.
I mean,
Maybe
that's
after
still
this.
really impressive,
Maybe after
yeah.
this, yeah.
So I figure a good way to start this would be how this all happened from the start. It was interesting because we were at MrBeast's warehouse and I went to go use the restroom, and on my way to the bathroom, I kind of lock eyes with you for a second and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Jimmy Darts.
And I
Just-
said, oh my gosh, that's Jack.
By coincidence,
Ice
Jack.
Coffee Hour, number
Ice
one
Coffee Hour, just
podcast
Jack.
in the world. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just walking to the bathroom and I saw you. I was like, oh my gosh, this is Jimmy. What a coincidence. I was not expecting to see you here because I've seen you on my TikTok For You page
Yeah.
on YouTube. You've been blowing up recently. Crazy views, unprecedented views. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to bother him. He's probably busy. And I kind of like stop there for a second and slow down. Then I start walking back to the bathroom. Someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, have you met Jimmy Darts? And I said, no. He said, come meet him. Nicest guy ever. You're a very nice guy. You're just the same
thank
as you
you.
are on camera
Yeah.
as in person.
Yeah, you are so friendly, by the way.
Yeah.
Really?
Just
Wow.
like really nice
I
and just
appreciate
like
that.
happy all the time.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super random running into you guys, and I loved it because I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd ever run into you guys because I'm not in the YouTube finance kind of space and stuff. And I have friends that are friends with a lot of creators, but I don't know anyone that knew you guys personally. So to run into you guys, I was
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
It's been really cool too because I've seen your videos and I've heard your voice before.
Yeah,
but
it's
never,
the voice. It's always the
I've
voice.
never put the face to the voice.
Yeah.
But I remember scrolling TikToks and seeing your videos come up, and the one that really stands out the most was a lady in the electric wheelchair with the black eyes.
Yeah.
And she took a
Yeah.
fall and you gave her money.
Yes.
And that video got how many views?
Yeah,
is that
that was
now?
crazy. That got like, I don't know, 35 million or 38 million on TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe 15 million on YouTube. I don't know exact numbers, but it went crazy.
Yeah.
And that was wild. That was actually, so I live in California. I live in LA in that area now, and I'm from Minnesota though, a small town of like 900 people. So I decided to go back home this summer, and I was super worried. I was like, how am I gonna make videos here? Everyone knows who I am. But there's a little town that's like 40 minutes away that has a Walmart. My town doesn't even have a Walmart. So I go to this little town there, and I'm like, all right, can I make content in a town this small, And I go in there, and the first thought I had was, I was like, let's get a piggy bank, fill it with money and a hammer, and walk around and smash it open for the first person that gives me $5 to guess what's inside, So I was like, if you give me $5, you can have what's in here. Could be a cent, could be $1,000. And I'm walking around Walmart, and everyone's just staring at me because they see a hammer and a piggy bank. I'm walking around like this. And sure enough, I go up to this lady, and she didn't have $5, but my heart broke. It's like this 80-some-year-old, 70-some-year-old lady in this electric wheelchair, and her eyes all black. She had just like fallen on the pavement. She's like, I wish I could give you the money for it, but I'm broke right now. And I was like, all right, why don't you just have it? And so I go to give it to her, and then the Walmart like manager comes and kicks me out of the store. He's like, you can't be doing that in here, like with the piggy bank and all this. So he kicks us out, and I go wait for her outside, and then she ends up coming after she shops, comes outside. She said, I didn't think you'd wait for me. She thought I was gonna leave. And so I stay there, wait for her, give her the piggy bank for free. She smashes it open. Out comes $500, and she starts freaking out, crying. She just explains that they're going through a hard time financially, and it was wild. And basically after that happened, I was like, dang, let's try to go the extra mile with this lady and see if we can help her and her husband. So I just made a GoFundMe that night, posted the video, and I didn't know if people would donate, maybe $1,000, $2,000. Well, it ended up being like, I think over $90,000
Oh my
came in for
gosh.
her. Yeah, it was in the news, like the newspaper, everything. And it was crazy. Then I go back to that Walmart a few days later, and I shot a video in there again. I'm pulling out, and the Walmart like manager comes chasing after me. I'm like, oh no, I was about to hit the gas. I was like, I don't want to get yelled at right now. So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna stop. Let's just confront the situation. And he goes, wait 1 second. He goes, I am so sorry for kicking you out. I had no idea who you are, what you guys are doing. Come to my store anytime. So it was a good redemption moment.
That
with
is
the
so
manager.
cool.
Yeah.
Where did you get the idea to start doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of, ever since I was a little kid, my parents for Christmas would give us $200. They'd say $100 is for you, $100 is to give away to somebody. So right then I just became comfortable with people on the streets, with strangers, just hearing their story, giving them money, kind of doing that. And then the first time I really realized the power of the internet, to be able to crowdfund and stuff, was I was in Miami on the beach, and there was this homeless guy living in a tent. And I go up to him, I say, hey bro, do you want to be best friends for the day and have some fun? And he's like, sure. And so we basically go rollerblading, play basketball, do some fun stuff like this. And on the way home, I'm making a TikTok of this, and he starts like kind of tearing up, and he goes, dang bro, like I was planning on committing and this like changed my whole perspective on life. I was like, oh my gosh, like I had no idea. I was just having a good time, like having fun with you. And I was like, dang, like I want to see if I can raise some money for you, bro, like to help you get off the street. Like this is crazy. So I made a GoFundMe for him, and back then I didn't even really have that many followers. And sure enough, overnight, I didn't almost delete the video, but the video I posted it was like one of the worst performing videos ever. And I was like, dang it, man, I wanted this to go viral to raise some money for this guy. But then I wake up the next morning, it's got like 15 million views, and he had raised like over 30,000-ish for him. So yeah, he just changed his life. He went and like toured South America and stuff. And it was just powerful what can happen when you show. There's a lot of people that want to donate, they just don't always know how or where to give,
But
so
what gave you that idea to go up to that guy in particular, film it, put it on TikTok? Where did you get the inspiration for that?
He was just chilling on the beach. He was just having a good time hanging out there, so he just looked like an approachable guy. But back to your main question, kind of how I came up with this idea to have people pass a kindness test, and that's kind of what I do now is I was in California walking, and I was like, man, instead of just giving people money or doing something like that, like what if I asked for help first? And so there was this awesome family coming across the crosswalk, and there was like 4 kids and mom and dad. And I said, hey, do you guys have any money for food? I'm really hungry right now. I just don't have any cash. And they go, sure. And they come out, they give me a couple dollars, and they give me a burrito out of the backpack. And I was like, actually, I was just seeing the first person to help me. Here's $100. That's all I was doing at the time. I was like, here's $100 to reward your kindness. And he starts freaking out, like tearing up, and it just like rocked their life. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a cool way to not only bless awesome people and go to areas where there's people in need, but also to find people that have probably been generous their whole life. That's the thing with these people that I find. It's not like they just happen to help me that day. They've probably been pulling money out of their pocket for 50 years, helping people, never got recognized for it, never got rewarded for it. And so that's my favorite part about it. It's like, man, getting to reward someone that's probably been kind their whole life.
Yeah. What were you doing before this?
I mean, I've been making videos ever since I was a kid. I was always doing videos, just whatever I could. If it was baby Jesus in the manger when I was like 6 years old, like have it playing with him in the Legos or whatever. I was always doing just different videos. And then when I was 17, 18, I kind of started partying a lot. And I didn't really get into drugs or alcohol. That kind of always scared me. But I would just do wild stuff, like, I don't know, make out with a girl, or, I'd get drunk maybe 3-4 times, stuff like this. But I would always love to do crazy stuff, like just run through a wall, or like, I don't know, like Steve-O type stuff.
Really? Wait, have you ran through a wall?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot.
How do you do that? Does that hurt?
I used to go to parties, and every time I was at a party, I would start punching myself in the face till I was covered in blood. My nose used to bleed easily, and I'd be covered in blood, and everyone at the party would freak out. And I just loved just adrenaline and hype. I loved hype and adrenaline and all this stuff, right? And I just love crazy stuff. And long story short, when I was 18 years old, I went to this party in Minnesota out in the middle of the woods. It's super cold out there, so they have fires, bonfires, people hang out in the woods. I go out there with these Jesus socks on. I had like a little Jesus on them from Urban Outfitters, like a little statue on the side. And I'm out there, and I'm just messing around, being stupid, whatever, and jumping over the fire, like showing off, just doing dumb stuff. And on the way home that night, I was like, oh crap, my socks have holes in them. my parents are gonna find out I've been partying. Like, they don't know that I live this lifestyle. Like, they think I'm like this kind of perfect kid. I was so freaked out. And so I sneak up to my room, and I'm like, if I throw my socks away, my mom does the laundry, she'll know there was a pair missing. I was like, I have to think fast. And I don't know why I thought of it, but I literally take my socks off. I'm like, I wasn't drunk or had any drugs that night, nothing. Just completely clear mind, just didn't want her to know I was living that kind of rebellious lifestyle. I was like, Jesus, please help my socks, like heal my socks. I hide them in the back of my underwear drawer. Go to bed. The next morning I wake up before my mom comes upstairs to do the laundry, grab the socks, and they're brand new. Same spot I left them, no holes in them. And I freak out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, the first thought that came to my mind is I thought God would have been mad at me, wanted me to get caught, wanted me to get in trouble. But as soon as I grabbed those socks, I just felt him speak to me, and he's like, actually, Jimmy, I want to be your friend above everything else. Like, I want to be your friend before anything. And that really impacted me and really changed my life.
But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Roan. Graham, did you mean to wear that today?
I did. Did you mean to wear that?
I did. I think you knew I was wearing this and wanted to match.
Not this again, Jack.
This is a mess. We got to fix it.
There we go. See, that's better. As someone who works from home and is constantly hopping on and off Zoom calls, it's difficult to find a balance between looking professional and also just being in your pajamas. That was the case, however, before I found Roan.
When Roan first sent us their commuter shirt, I honestly could not believe how breathable it was for a dress shirt.
Yeah, it's actually really unusual to find a shirt that you could look professional in and then immediately after go and run a marathon in.
My favorite part about Roan is that they use wrinkle release technology, so all wrinkles will just disappear as you stretch and wear the shirt, which is perfect for me considering I don't even own an iron.
Plus, with their Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll smell fresh and clean all day long, regardless of how sweaty you are. Sponsorship aside, it's incredibly comfy. I was surprised when I put this on that it feels like silk.
That was the first thing you said.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Honest review from me. It feels incredible.
Roan is 100% machine washable, so no more expensive and time-consuming trips to the dry cleaners. The commuter shirt can get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next.
So head to roan.com/icedcoffee and get 20% off your entire order with the code ICEDCOFFEE.
That's 20% off your entire order when you head to rhone.com/icedcoffee and use code ICEDCOFFEE at checkout.
It's that easy. Enjoy. Thank you guys so much. And now let's get back to the podcast.
A few months after that, my entire life I had horrible scoliosis. So my spine was very crooked. My left leg was this much shorter than my right leg. I used to walk like this. People would make fun of me and stuff. And so after high school, you know, from that soccer experience, it was so radical. My parents were like, Jimmy, if you want to go to Hawaii, we'll pay for your school. You can go out there to this little Christian school for like 6 months. And I was like, all right, do I do that? Or do I go to UCLA, kind of party and stuff, get into film and video? Like, what do I do? And I was like, Hawaii sounds kind of dope. So I go to Hawaii. And I'm out there, and basically like a month into the school, this guy comes up to me and he goes, hey, Jimmy, can I pray for your like scoliosis? I was like, what? Like, pray for me? What are you talking about? He's like, to get healed. And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I spent my whole life going to doctors, chiropractors, everything. And no one's been able to, like, how are you going to heal my back, you know? And the doctors were going to lengthen my Achilles tendon in my leg. So my legs would be the same length, but it'd be a long surgery. I was going to be in a wheelchair for like 6 months. And anyways, I'm in Hawaii sitting there. And this gentleman, he goes, all right, look, watch this. I want to pray for you. So I sit down in a chair. He holds my legs out like this. And he goes, watch this. In Jesus' name, be healed right now. And my leg starts shaking and goes straight out to match the length of my other leg. And my back is fully healed. My spine is straight. And that really just changed my life forever. And from that point, I gave my life fully to Jesus. I stopped like living for myself, stopped partying, all that stuff. And that's really the motive and the force behind all these videos and everything is basically that, you know.
So it's a combination of the socks and the leg.
Yeah.
And that gave you
Yeah.
the belief now that this is the right path to do. You're gonna full force in this.
Yeah, and so I was making videos back then, doing party videos. I don't know if you guys remember, like, I'm Schmacked, but they'd go around.
No.
All right, they do these
What's
wild
that?
party videos, and I started doing party videos like that. And so I had around 18,000 subscribers, like 30,000 followers on Twitter, and I had built up my socials. And after this happened, where I got healed, met, and had this encounter with Jesus, I just felt like he was speaking to me, and he was just like, are you going to surrender that? Like, can you surrender your videos? You've given me all these other things, but your videos, like, it's still an idol in your life, you know? And that's where I had put all my eggs were in one basket. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't feel like I would ever be old and regret giving everything to God, surrendering everything. And so I sat there like 18 years old with my videos pulled up, everything. And I was like, dang, he's right. And so I went and deleted everything. And then it said, are you sure you want to delete? I was like, oh my gosh. And I hit delete, and every video I had was deleted, my channel, all my followers. And then I went
How many followers do you have back then?
back then I had like 18,000 on YouTube, like 30,000 Twitter.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Partying
like,
videos.
Yeah, this is like 8 years ago.
So what sort of videos like existed?
Just
on
party
like
wild
what,
video.
how?
Like I
what?
would just go to
run through a wall. Like Steve will do it.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah. I would go to
videos?
just colleges or high schools and
Jimmy
yeah,
will do it.
Yeah. No, I would just make
Yeah.
montages of people partying and
Sure.
just all kinds of stuff like that. And I really, as soon as I deleted everything, I felt like I felt horrible. The first month I felt like I didn't exist. My identity was so in that, was so wrapped up in that. And for about a month and a half, I felt horrible. And after that month passed, then I actually felt more known and better than ever. And it was because I was known by God and not by men. And I was approved by him and not like this validation you get from people that change and like you and don't like you. And so kind of went on that journey for 3-4 years. And then I felt like he said to get back into videos and that it was time. And so I started this about 1.5 years ago, and it just kind of took off.
Were you going to college?
No, I was going to different ministry schools. So I went to
Got
a
it.
ministry school in California and Hawaii.
It'd be funny if you said, no, I just went to Hawaii.
Yeah. So
So the only thing that kind of like, I mean, there are lots that sticks
Yeah.
out to me, but especially was the fact that like you said you were going to parties and like doing these crazy stunts, like punching yourself in the face until you bled. And was that just to see the reaction of people to like, so they can watch you do that?
yeah, I don't know. I just loved wild things, you know. Since I wasn't really getting drunk or doing like drugs or anything like that, I just wanted to be involved with the party and like, you know, just get
It
it
could
going
be the life
crazy.
of the party. You do that. Like everyone's gonna be, yo, you see what Jimmy just did?
Yeah. It was crazy, and yeah, I think it just comes from an identity of not knowing who I was, you know, not really knowing God, not having a relationship with Him, and you're just kind of confused. But yeah, basically during those 3-4 years, like I was saying, when I left the internet and all that stuff, I moved to Texas, Austin, Texas. I was actually driving in my car in Minnesota, not sure what to do with my life. Should I go to Texas, California? I had opportunities both. And I felt like God spoke to me. He said, Jimmy, if it's 96 degrees in Austin, Texas right now, I want you to move there. And I was like, what the heck? So I pull out my phone, I look it up, Austin, Texas, it's 96 degrees. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, all right. And I moved there like 2 weeks later. And I moved there and I'm working at a restaurant, staying in this apartment. And I'm like literally like broke. Like I could barely eat out or like, you know, get groceries. Like it was pretty tight. And I was talking to God, and I was just like, where should we work out, you know? And there was a gym at the apartment I was staying at, but I felt like I was supposed to ask him that. And I felt like he said, go to Lifetime Fitness. And I was like, Lifetime Fitness?
He's sponsored by
Yeah.
Lifetime Fitness, by the way.
Right.
They have a 50% off coupon.
Yeah, so I was so confused. I was like, oh, I bet it's like $80 a month there. I was like, I can't afford to go to Lifetime Fitness. And so I ended up going there. And during this whole time when I left the internet, I really got into e-commerce, started learning about Amazon, different drop shipping businesses. And that was my dream, was just to like have an online business. And I watched this guy religiously. His name was Ryan Moran. And he went $0 to $1 million on Amazon in a year. And so I watched all his videos, was learning from this guy. And I show up to Lifetime Fitness like, why did God lead me here? And I'm signing the contract, the lock-in for a year deal or whatever. And I look up, and there he is in the lobby on the phone, this guy. And so I go up to him. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, like I've watched your stuff about business. I love it. Like, can you teach me or anything? Like, can you mentor me? And he's like, well, come to my conference. Yeah, I was like, all right. He's like, it's a capitalism conference. I was like, how much is it? He's like, $3,000 a person. I was like, oh my gosh, well, I can't go to that. And so I asked him, I'm like, well, where is it? And he's like, it's at the JW Marriott downtown Austin. I was like, that's where I work. So I couldn't afford to get in it, but I was at the restaurant as a server, and I was picking the brains of all these e-commerce people and really learning a lot from them. And then that kind of launched me into starting my own Amazon business. And it still runs today, and ever since then I haven't had to like work a 9 to 5 or anything like that. I've just kind of had that job. And what's really crazy is this is about 4 or 5 years ago. A month ago, I was raising funds in Minnesota for a video, and I was reading the person who was donating. Every day, there's different people that donate because I do it on a live stream. All my videos are crowdfunded, so most of my videos are. So I usually go on a live stream. I say, "What's up, guys? We're gonna try to bless so and so today. Here's my Venmo. I'm gonna be giving shout outs to everyone that donates. Whether it be a cent, $10, it's all appreciated. All adds up." And this guy donates on the stream. And I was like, what the heck is that? That must be a fake account. And I look, and it was the real Ryan Moran. And we start messaging, and he follows me now. And we've actually been calling back and forth, voice memoing. And he wants to do something with me where potentially like maybe equity in a company and I promote it or something like this. But it's a really wild full circle moment you know.
Tell us about this Amazon business. What were you selling?
Yeah, I was
that
selling, I tried everything. So I failed like 5 times. I tried selling like mouse traps to like dog water bowls that you would squeeze out of a bottle, all this stuff.
Is that the one you take in the car?
Yeah.
We got one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not the squeeze ones.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
battery-powered one. You
Right.
press it, and it goes into this compartment.
Yeah.
And Bailey drinks from it, and then it goes right back into
exactly, a little bowl.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I was
I
selling those.
I like those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was selling those like crazy.
Yeah.
Fidget spinners.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it was just such a weird industry because you get your account taken down or like, I don't know, it's very weird. Like that e-commerce stuff unless you
Yeah,
create
sure.
the product. But eventually the product that I ended up landing on was just like cleaning supplies. I want to keep it kind of broad because Amazon, it's still like an undiscovered space.
You still doing it?
Yes, I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Can you tell us like how much you're making from that right now? We're not going to say the product.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. It's not a crazy amount, you know,
Yeah.
but it's enough to like pay bills and stuff like this.
Yeah.
It brings in like $3,000 a month still.
That's fantastic.
You know? And it's just autonomous, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
So what's your involvement day to day?
Nothing. I mean, I have someone that works with me. Like I have an assistant that does a lot of stuff with me, who's my brother-in-law, and just once every couple weeks he'll check it, reorder. But it's very simple
Really?
process, and
And it's been doing $100 a day for years?
yeah, for like 4 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you just rank really high on a certain product?
Yeah. Well, it was so when you watch a lot of these e-commerce Amazon videos, they'll all try to get you making like $1,000 a day or $5,000 a day. I was like, I don't want to make that much a day. I just want to make $80 to $100 a day and have little competition. And so I found a product that there's only like 2 other people selling it, you know? But I basically went into it, created my little logo, took photos, and yeah, it just sells on its own. And a couple of years ago, I thought I was going to lose the whole thing because a guy copied me exactly. Took my photos, took the branding, everything. But it still sells, and yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great way to be, like, if you can have an online business, you have so much free time to pursue what you're passionate about versus, you know.
Yeah.
Did sales go down once someone else joined the pool?
Yeah, they did. So then it was kind of this price war where it was
no.
you know, lowering our price, this and that. And then when COVID happened, the sales went to almost zero because all like the restaurants and hotels were kind of shut down. So I was like, not making a single dollar doing anything. And it was crazy. That was my whole business. And, but then after COVID, it kind of started back up again. And yeah, Amazon is a great tool to have, but I wouldn't fully depend on it for anything just because.
So what's stopping you from going and finding other products like that and just copying them? Do what that guy did to you.
Yeah,
What's
I
stopping
just
anybody?
hate that, like copying
Yeah.
anything, you know, like I just feel like the way God has made us and knitted each of us, like we can be so creative and so individualized in the way we like. I feel like we each have like a gift that someone else doesn't have, you know, and so you could sure do that, but then I don't know, it's just a weird business and it's just not too reliable, you know, like videos is my main passion, doing stuff like that, and I just have the Amazon business because it just. Yeah, it's consistent. It's good. But
How'd you meet MrBeast?
how did I meet him?
How did that happen?
Yeah, so it was crazy. His his account manager for TikTok is this guy named Rohan.
Yeah.
And some of my old roommates.
guy.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Some of my old roommates flew out there to do some videos with them, and he didn't know I was living with these guys. We live in like a bunch of TikTokers and stuff, and he just messaged me. He's like, "Yo, Jimmy, you want to come make some videos with us?" I was like, "Yes, I'll come. Like, I'll do anything to come." So it was really awesome. I got to go out there, and we shot 2 TikToks.
Was that the day that we met you?
Yeah. I went
That's
out there.
cool.
It was awesome, man. He's so cool. MrBeast.
Tell us about that day. I saw the TikTok and I heard about
Yeah.
the idea before you did it. I was like, man, that's crazy. It goes, what was it? It went to was it a Walmart?
Yeah.
Went to a Walmart and handed people, how much was it? You explain it.
Yeah,
Tell me
it
what
was
happened.
crazy. Yeah, basically, we went into Walmart and gave people the option: would you rather have $1,000 cash for yourself, or, and then he opened a briefcase, $10,000 to give away to someone random in the store. And people were looking at it and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And the first 2 people chose the $1,000. We said, "All right, bless you, have a good day." And then finally, someone's like, "I'll give $10,000 away." So it's crazy because the way the video started, there was these 2 moms kind of in an area, and we only went up to one because we went up. We could only choose one to talk to at that moment. And there was one lady, she chose the $1,000, which was awesome because she needed the money, but she could have given the $10,000 to that lady there. So it was kind of sad that she didn't get the money, but we're like, all right. And we end up in the store going up to this guy saying, "You want $1,000 or $10,000 to give away?" He goes, "I'll give away $10,000. We go, "All right, you got 20 seconds." So he's running through the store, people everywhere, and he could have given it to anyone. And he randomly goes up to the other mom that didn't get the money before, gives her $10K, and then we said, "Hey, because you chose to be kind, give $10,000 away. We want to give $10,000 to you as well." And the whole Walmart at that place was it was nuts. There was like 100 people just like mobbing us. And we had to get out of there.
So that's what I was really curious about, because they said that, I would imagine MrBeast goes into anywhere in that location and he's immediately going to be recognized. Everyone's going to be like, "Yo, he's here, let's show up," and everyone's going to ask for money. How does that work?
Yeah, it was crazy because when I go out and shoot my videos, sometimes I'm paranoid. I sometimes will wear like a COVID mask up here, a hat. Like I just don't want anyone to know it's me and get an ingenuine reaction. But with him, it was insane. And we were in his hometown.
Yeah.
So we were running through aisles. Kids were like chasing us, trying to get pictures. And we're like, "Not now." it ended up being like 80 people in the store and we had to get him out of there. But I can't imagine.
Jimmy also needs a disguise, yeah.
You think he needs a disguise? Yeah. Well, he
Put
did
an
that
old man
recently.
suit on or something like that.
Well, he did that recently for his MrBeast burger. He went and he showed up in like an all blacked out suit with like a hoodie and everything.
Yeah, but even then, if you get a close enough look,
I'm sure he was wearing a mask and a hat too.
Yeah, I think he was in his hometown. He was in his hometown, and that's what I do for a lot of my videos. Is I almost never go up to younger people because they'll. At least if they don't follow me, they've seen a video or whatever. So try to go up to like older people that maybe don't ever go on the internet.
So if you go out, I'm sure this has probably happened at some point in the past, where you'll go out and ask someone and they recognize you and they choose to do like the moral thing or whatever, the ethical thing, giving you money or whatever you're asking for. Have you... what has that experience been like going out and experiencing that?
Yeah, I can usually read people pretty well and tell if they recognize me or not, And but I did have an instance recently. I was at this Walmart and I go up to this lady. I was like, "I'm trying to buy this food for my kid. Like, do you have an extra $1 or $2 for it?" And she goes, "Nope, I don't." I was like, "You sure?" She goes, "Nope." And I go, "All right, thank you." And I walk away and a minute later she chases me down. She goes, "Oh, I got money for you." And I was like, "What? I thought you didn't have money." She goes, "Oh no, I found some." And she had this crazy look in her eyes. I was like, "Oh, I think I'm good actually. Like I'm good." She's like, "You sure?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good." So I left the store, but yeah, so it's happened a couple times.
Now, have you ever given money to someone who you feel maybe later didn't deserve it, or maybe they weren't the intended recipient of that? Maybe you give them money and then they go off to their brand new Porsche.
Right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I will tell you this. Like, sometimes I've done a couple of videos where wealthy people have passed the kindness test and they've gotten rewarded. And it's something I really enjoy and really love, is because they never like some wealthy people, they're always expected when they're out to dinner, they have to pay for the meal. They have to do this. And so when they get given something, it really can just freak them out in their mind. And the whole point isn't just to give them finances, but it's to do something to their heart, Yeah. And I've seen that happen a few times where, some wealthy people have gotten the funds and they're just so impacted by it that I just believe it changes their life. But for the most part, it's whatever the person chooses to do with the money. Like, I can't follow them home and say, "Make sure you do it like this, spend this and that." Just kind of go up to people, feel led, and if they pass the kindness test, they're responsible kind of for what the money does. But for the most part, I usually try to find people that you know, are just working people that are just having a hard go at life, you know, and yeah, but
what's an instance you can think back on where someone passed and exceeded your kindness test by like times 10? Let's say you asked for like $1 or a little snack,
Right,
and they like
right.
take you out to some super fancy dinner or something.
Yeah. Oh man, a kindness test that was exceeded. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is just this guy. I was doing a video. The first person to give me a hug was gonna get $500. So I drove around town all day. And I was praying. I was like, Jesus, lead me to the right person, Pops. And was driving. And every time I was about to go up to someone and give him a hug, I just didn't feel good about it. And I was like, that's not the right person. And I ended up driving home. I was like, I guess I'm not shooting a video today. And boom, there's a guy riding his bike on the sidewalk. And I was like, that's the guy. He was like glowing. I just felt like that was him. So I pull the car over, run in front of his bike. I'm like, sir. He stops the bike with his feet because the brakes didn't work. And I go, could I have a hug? I just had a bad day. I just miss my family. And he gets off his bike, gives me a hug. And I say, thank you so much, sir. I was seeing the first person be kind enough to care and give me a hug. And I want to bless you with $500. And he's just a grown man. And he starts weeping right there. And he's like, today at work, the boss paid everyone except for me. And then he just went into explaining that he was an immigrant from El Salvador, and he moved to the U.S. 18 years ago to send money to his family, his wife and kids to survive because the economy was so rough there. And he's not able to go back because then he can't get back in the U.S. So he's just been FaceTiming his wife and kids for 18
That's
years.
nuts.
Hasn't seen them. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, I want to do more with this guy. And we actually became really good friends. And we went on a tour helping people out. So we drove to like Vegas, Utah. Like we hit like 4 or 5 states. Me and this guy staying in the same hotel rooms. Like, yeah, me and this dude, his name was Jose. We just became awesome friends doing this. And we were out doing news shows. Like, we'd be on the news and different things like that. And then I ended up raising like, I think it was around $60,000 in total for him. And the money for him, it was enough for him. He moved back home this year in time for Christmas to be with his family permanently. And he said he could buy a house in El Salvador for $10,000. So he's got enough for like 5 houses. So he's doing well. He's business minded. So his whole life is back on track now. He's back with his family. And yeah, it's just an amazing story, you know, just like you never know what someone's going through, and just it's just, I want to find the next Jose because he's out there right now somewhere, you know?
Do you ever worry that people might not be truthful about their story, and maybe you end up raising money for somebody who's you know, lying about it, exaggerating their downfall?
Yeah, so for the most part, you know, we usually, the videos, if they pass a kindness test, they'll get $1,000 or $500, this or that. But once in a while, you know, maybe a couple times a month, we'll do a GoFundMe or whatever and raise 50 to 100,000. But anytime we do that, we really get to know the person. We talk to them a lot, and just relationally, you know, we don't just say, all right, we're going to set up a GoFundMe. And
Reminds me of the story. Remember that this was back in like 2013 or 14. Josh Paler Lynn raised money for a homeless man, and I had no idea if that video was fake. I've met with him before, and he's told me it's 100% legit.
Yeah.
I don't have any proof either way.
Right.
But he raised money for him. I think it was like $100,000, or it was something like this. This was one of the first YouTube videos to really go viral. And the guy was an alcoholic, and the story goes that he got access to all of this money and drank himself to death.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, I mean, do you ever think that maybe there could be something where you would have to get more involved other than just raising funds?
100%. I'm actually in that same situation currently, actually, right now. I met this gentleman in Huntington Beach a couple of weeks ago. He was just an awesome guy. He passed the kindness test. He was homeless. And I was talking to him, and you could tell he wasn't on drugs and maybe a little bit alcohol, maybe something like that, but nothing, it didn't seem nothing too serious. And so we ended up making a GoFundMe for him, and we raised like $50,000, $60,000. But then we, I don't know, somehow his brother reached out to us, or he gave us his brother's contact, and his brother is an awesome guy, like a Christian family man. He's got kids, and he lives in the area, and he began to tell us the story of this guy where his brother has been homeless for 20-some years. He's an alcoholic, and he's like scared that he'll end up drinking himself to death, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sad. He stays with his family like once a week. He'll go stay with his brother, you know, but So it's a tricky situation. So we're not going to give all those funds to him. We actually set it up where it's like a joint thing with his brother and him and us, to where like we're just going to use these funds to possibly get him off the street into a hotel or apartment, and then just kind of gauge where he's at, you know, because a lot of these people, in the last year I've gotten like 3 to 4 homeless people fully off the street. And these are people that were literally heroin addicts, like straight up like heroin addicts, and I've gotten them off the street to where they don't do drugs, they have a car, they're living their life. And the reason we've been able to do that isn't just handing somebody money, but it's relationally getting to know them and having fun with them. And so that's one of the main things is when you ask these people like, Adam, why do you drink? And it's like, well, if most people had to sleep outside every night, you know, had no family, had none of this, like they would resort to something like that. You know, like when people don't feel connected, you know, that's when they feel empty, and that's when they try to find things to fill that. So if you can fill that connection void in somebody's life, you can actually break off some of these addictions and then kind of begin to rehabilitate them off the street, you know?
I worry there'd also be some physical dependencies on certain substances that, you know, might temporarily, they might be able to you know, hold it through, but that long term, without consistent treatment, you know, it could be, you know, slippery slope.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you never fully know, you know, everyone has free will. They can choose to do whatever they want to do. But the key is just to always believe the best in people and really just not give somebody money unwisely, but try to do your best to know their story, get to know who they are, and find out what the root causes are of what they're going through and try to help them out. One of my favorite examples was this homeless gentleman named Tom. I met him probably about a year ago. And I asked him to play hopscotch with me. And he's like, hopscotch? What, do you want me to play hopscotch? I was like, yeah, I'm just seeing the first person to have fun and play hopscotch. So he did. And I rewarded his kindness for $500 for being childlike. And he began sharing his story. And long story short, he was going through some different things, probably some drug addiction, some different things like that. And I bought him a cell phone to help stay connected with him, and was going to try getting him off the street. And I reached out to him a week later. His cell phone's gone. I'm like, what happened to your cell phone? He's like, oh, somebody stole it or something. So I'm like, all right, I'll believe you this time. Like, get him another phone. So I get him another phone. Same thing happens a few weeks later. It's like, all right, he could be selling this phone to get substances or something like that, you know. And it's a tricky thing. Like, do we just leave him? Do we stop talking? But it's like, no, it's like I felt God's heart for him, that God really cared about him. And people probably only given him 2 chances, but this man needed endless chances. And so we just kept relentlessly becoming his friend. I take him go-karting, take him to like a baseball game, just different things like that, becoming friends with him. And sure enough, we got him new teeth. We ripped out his teeth, got him brand new teeth, and that just brought a whole new joy to him, just looking good in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And then we raised like $30,000 for him and actually found him a full-time job. He's been working full-time for the past 8 months, living with the people who own the business, caretaking their house, doing all this stuff, clean off everything. And he's just loving life, loving his job. And he's like, he's one of their best employees ever. Wow. So it's crazy. I call him still once in a while, hang out with him, and it's just, it's insane, right? Because once you see somebody like, you know, misuse what you use them once, sometimes you want to give up on them. But sometimes what these people need is just like somebody to just really love them, you know, just love them crazy.
How do you maintain relationships with so many people?
Yeah, it's very difficult. My phone is ringing like every 20 minutes from a random number. I'm like, whose number did I get? Like every time I do a video, I usually give the person my number, you know? But yeah, I just try to do the best I can, you know? It's me and one other person that kind of does these videos with me. And yeah, we just are relational with them. Sometimes, you know, we just talk to them on the phone or go hang out with them. But really, they've all become friends, you know? Like they're just awesome people, you know?
Yeah.
And like God's created everyone so cool and so unique, you know? And I just know that a lot of times the reason people are the way they are isn't because they necessarily chose it, but something happened to them when they were a little kid, or their parents did this to them, and it kind of forms these thought patterns and this behavior to where it leaves them there. But really, it's just an awesome person that just, if you go a little bit deeper in some layers, you'll find gold in them. Yeah. And they're some of the best people ever.
Do you ever have people reaching back out asking for more money?
Sometimes, you know, not really, not a lot of the time, but sometimes. And yeah, we just, you know, we use wisdom, you know, so we're not like, oh, here, we'll send you another 5,000. It's like, hey, we gave you some funds. You're responsible with it. And if you didn't use it in a good way, that's sad. But we wish the best for you. We'll talk with you, pray with you. But But yeah, 95% of the time, 99% of the time, that doesn't really happen, you know?
Yeah.
So here's a philosophical question.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there are just by nature evil people that exist? Like someone that can be born just with like malicious intent, or a nefarious person that just wants bad on others?
Yeah, I think to answer your question truthfully, I think that's every single one of us. I think we're all born into sin. We're all born selfishly. As soon as you're like 2 years old, you're stealing your toy from another baby, crying if it's not yours. And we just kind of grow up and live this selfish lifestyle. And eventually, you know, we try to cover that up and, you know, sometimes make it seem like we're better people, this and that. But at the end of the day, I think the main thing is just surrendering your life. Like when I saw Jesus and saw his love for me, I was like, dang, like I'm selfish. I live for myself. I do all these things for myself. Like I need to know him. And what happened is when God came into my life, he didn't just say, all right, Jimmy, conform to all these rules right now and do this, even though you don't want to do this. No, it's like once I got in a place of surrender, it felt like he ripped out my heart and gave me a new heart that desired new things. It's like my taste buds changed. So I desired to live righteous instead of felt obligated to do it, you know? So it's not like, Jimmy, don't go drink, don't do this, don't hook up with people. It's more like I just don't even want to do that. Like you couldn't give me right now $50,000 to like say a cuss word. Like I just don't want to do that. And to answer your question, kind of, it's just like I believe, yeah, we all have free will, you know, and we can choose whatever we want. But I feel like, yeah, like God makes everybody, and it says in the Bible that it's God's will for all men to be saved. And what that word saved means is saved, healed, delivered, set free. And so his heart, it really for people, is to know him, to be loved, to come into his family. And yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but
It does, but I'm also curious, is there anyone that you've tried to help and you've been consistently disappointed in them, or just really surprised at what they had done after you tried to help them in a bad way, and you've had to like give up on them?
Yeah, like for example, one of the situations is this gentleman I was just talking to you about with the alcohol addiction. Like I was telling him, I was like, man, like we want to help you out, but you got to say no to the alcohol, you know? And he keeps choosing the alcohol over wanting help. And so we're not going to force anything on him, but we're just going to keep praying for him. And yeah, at the end of the day, he has full freedom to do whatever he wants, you know? And so you can never control people or force them to do something, but it's just believe the best in people. And it's really crazy what you can see. Like sometimes just enough love will just shatter someone's heart. And I just believe all people can be changed and all people can be forgiven. And we've all done things wrong on a different measure, but at the end of the day, we just need God's love, his forgiveness. And when he does that, he really can do a work in us, you know?
I'm going to shift the topic a little bit. Get back to finance. I'm so curious how taxes work. You're saying you're raising money on Venmo and people are Venmoing you. I'm worried maybe Venmo is going to report that to the IRS. You're going to be giving money out to people without a 1099, and then you're going to be on the hook for a huge tax bill with money that you've already given away.
Yeah.
Has that been factored in?
Yeah, so I have an accountant that kind of goes through some of these things and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a
That poor accountant, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Imagine having that job.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
like, you gave $500 to who? And you're like, I don't know. He gave
Right.
me a hug.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this guy? I don't know. He gave me $1, so I gave him 1,000 back.
Yeah, it's a very complicated situation because it's weird, but yeah, the donations, they come in like they're counted as like income, so we have to set about a certain aside away for taxes for that and stuff. But yeah, really we just if it's a large amount, like there's something where if it's $500 or like under $599, you can just give someone that cash. And if it's like a car or a crazy thing, then you have to fill out these different forms and stuff.
You're going to have a tax nightmare, I'm going to tell you. You're going to have one really good year where it's one of two situations going to happen. One, it's an audit because you're writing up so much of your income. They're seeing so much money come in and immediately flow out in cash. It's a big flag. Or two, you're going to be stuck in a situation where all of a sudden the IRS says, hey, Jimmy, you owe us $500,000. And you say, I don't have the $500,000.
Yeah, well, that's the
gave
thing.
it away.
So I make sure to set aside for taxes with everything, you know. So I have the taxes set aside for that. Yeah. Like whenever I get paid, even for if it's something on my own, I just will set aside the tax and just count everything as income, you know?
I'm
'cause-
going to give you the boring answer. You're
Yeah.
probably not going to want to hear it.
Yeah.
Everybody you give money to, you got to get a 1099. You got to get them to get an ID, a name, an address, a social security number. If they don't have it, then it's at your discretion.
Yeah.
But keep records of that.
For sure.
And keep it under the amount. You just
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be hard to do that with homeless people.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying you keep it under that amount. But they should still have. Well, I would imagine most would have a social security.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we've talked
maybe
with
not an
many
address,
tax
but,
people. Yeah,
yeah.
like some of it can be down to like as educational purposes, and you can give funds to people in need without having to report some of those things. But
Make sure you get that buttoned up. I
yeah,
hate to see
yeah.
something happen with that.
yeah, we're
'cause
working right
given-
now.
yeah.
We're trying to form right now like a nonprofit, working through those things, and it's just crazy how much stuff you have to fill out for that and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I have a question about
Yeah.
that too. And Jimmy, I also want to let you know that our official card sponsor is Lexar.
Okay.
oh, it's Lexar. Oh,
Yeah, but
baby.
my
no.
question. I remember MrBeast said on a podcast that at first when he was giving out money, he would also help people pay the tax on it. So like even though he would give away, let's say $5,000, it would be more because there would be more money set aside for taxes so that they could like net $5,000.
Yeah.
And then I remember he mentioned that he had to switch that up because of the taxes. When you give away large things or cars or whatever you're giving away, especially the larger stuff, do you kind of help these people plan for that or how does that work?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Anytime somebody gets a certain amount of cash or we raise a certain amount for them, we tell them about the taxes and stuff. But yeah, sometimes it's crazy how that works. But yeah, I gave away a car like last year. It wasn't even a fundraiser because it was such a last second thing. So I had to put up on my own like $20,000 and I gave someone this car. And then yeah, we had to like pay the taxes on it and stuff. And so it's crazy. Yeah, there's like a gift tax even when you give someone something.
You're gonna
crazy.
get a Price is Right situation where a lot
was
of the
on the
times
Price is Right,
Were you
yeah.
actually?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. But when you win the big any prize in the Price is Right, you have to pay tax
It's
on
crazy.
the fair market value of that item. And so
Yeah.
if you win, Jack, like let's just say some useless $5,000 thing, because half the stuff it's like you're never gonna use these things.
Right.
If you win that now you have to pay tax on that $5,000.
Yeah.
Even though it's an item that you'll never use. So a lot
Or
of times,
vacation.
yeah, it's better just don't take it, or sometimes they have a cash value.
Right.
What
right.
happened when you were on The Price is Right?
Yeah, yeah.
With Drew
yeah.
Carey?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, my
Wow.
uncle, he won the whole Price is Right. I don't know, 15 years ago or something.
No.
Yeah. And he
With
didn't
Bob
even
Barker?
He used my dad's
my
ID because he
gosh.
didn't think he was old enough to get in
Yeah.
in the show. But yeah, he won the whole thing, and so he's like, Jimmy, go on The Price is Right. I bet you could get on. And so I was like, all right, sounds good. Like I'll show up. And you show up to The Price is Right. There's a line of like 100 people, and they come up to you and give you 15 seconds. They say, why should you be on the show?
Oh, they'll pick you. You have such a
Yeah.
energy to you.
Yeah. So it was funny. My answer, I think, was I was like, well, I sleep in my Honda Accord. I would sure love to have another one. And I'm a volunteer Santa Claus, and I pick up dog poop for a living. Because I was in Austin, Texas for after I left the restaurant for probably 5 months. I was a full-time dog walker. And I walked around, just picked up dog poop, took dogs on walks. And then I also always carried a Santa Claus costume in my trunk of my Honda. Because one of my best friends, he said, Jimmy, you gotta learn to be Santa Claus in private before you can be Santa Claus in public. And I took it literal, and I was like, dang, like, yeah, if any time like I'll ever be known or I'll do videos, recording, blessing people and stuff, like I just want to know that like I want to help way more people off camera than on camera. Like that's the goal, you know? And so I would in Texas after I get off work at the restaurant, I put on the Santa costume and just run around town, hang out with homeless people, go to eat with strangers, buy people stuff. And yeah, I was like a little Santa, and it was hot there. It was hot. It was summer.
You're living in your car?
Well,
what?
at times I was when
Yeah.
I would drive cross country and
I
stuff,
see.
like, saving up money. I would just sleep in the car at
Sure.
a Walmart or whatever. But
Wow.
and that's what was crazy. Really, was about a year and a half ago when I started doing these TikToks. I was like, man, I know I want to make videos, and I just want to do that full time, and I want to just help people all the time, but I don't have enough funds to do that for every video. I went like drained my entire bank account like a year and a half, taking just homeless people on like parasail rides, skydiving, all this stuff, and eventually it's like, dang it, I don't have any more funds to do this. What do I do? And I went through McDonald's drive-thru. I didn't even have $2 for like a McChicken. I had to call my mom, and she had to send me money to buy it. And I was like, dang it, like I don't know what to do, you know? And sure enough, just I started making these videos and it started growing. And then I was like, what if I try fundraising? I was like, I wonder if people would donate. And so I pull up a live stream. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to try to raise money to help someone today. And, you know, $100 came in. I was like, all right, that was cool. Tomorrow it's not going to happen. They're not like, the person who just gave isn't going to give another 100. And so I just went and fundraising, like 150 came in today. And it just kept growing. I was like, oh my gosh, like people really want to give funds away and help people in this country, but they really want to see a video or the face it goes to rather than just write a check to an organization, which is still great.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they want to see the face of someone. And so when I realized I could fundraise and do that, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And now it's just a dream come true. Every day I wake up, go on a little live stream, raise funds, hit the street, drive around my little Honda and find awesome people and reward them for their kindness, and it's a blast.
You didn't tell us about The Price is Right. What happened at The Price?
Yeah,
is
The
Right?
Price is Right. Oh,
You get on.
Oh.
You guess the price.
yeah. It was.
What happened?
It was a bit interesting. Yeah. I was in the crowd, and they said, "Be as crazy as you can." They show the highlights of The Price is Right. You know, they say, "Be as crazy as possible. Like you can't go over the top." Well, they announce my name. You know, they say, "Come up on stage," and I just start freaking out, going nuts. I get on the stage down there, and I'm just like. The camera's pacing. I'm like doing like thumb tricks and stuff, and I'm like $1 and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they end up like coming. The producer's like, "You gotta settle down. Like you're too animated."
No
way.
way.
Yeah, he's like, "It doesn't look real." He's like,
But did it feel real to you?
"Yeah." I mean, I was just loving it. It was just nuts, and yeah, it was crazy. And then yeah, I didn't get up on the stage, but they gave me like $500 for being on it.
Wow,
And I don't know, I
that's
paid
cool.
$200 in taxes or whatever. You know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So how much are you raising today? Like in an average day, how much would you expect to? I don't want to say make, but a lot of it's raising to give away.
Yeah.
that look like?
Usually the goal is whatever we raise that day, we usually go out and give it away. So I'll try to raise $500, sometimes $1,000, and then just later that day, I'll go shoot the video and give away that amount to the strangers and or to whoever it is, and the people get to see on TikTok later that day, like, wow, I donated 3 hours ago, and here's the video of the guy I went to. So it's really cool how it's just like the same day they usually get to see the video of who it went to.
Have you given away money today yet?
Today we did not shoot a video. Vegas is crazy. I was here. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing today. I was trying to get a outfit ready for this show. So I was at Target. I was going
This show?
Yes.
You don't need an outfit for this show. Just wear the Santa Claus thing. I don't care.
My clothes have been dirty for like a week. I'm like, I don't know. I got rid of all my clothes, and I have like 5 T-shirts to my name now. And this shirt I've worn it like 3 days in a row without washing it. And I was like, I need something clean. So I went to Target, bought a white T-shirt, but it was too thin. It was really thin. And so I just said, I'll just wear this. Yeah. But yes, different cities are different.
So are you going to give away money in Vegas? Because I'd be concerned. You give away $500, you'll see them just immediately at the craps.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be doing it at a casino or
Okay,
nothing like
yeah.
that. But I did shoot a video here yesterday, actually.
did? Where?
And at Walmart. And I don't know. It's not Christmas, but I love Christmas. And so I just had like a little microphone thing, and I went up to people. I said, "Rudolph the Red-Nosed," and then went like this. And if they finished the lyrics to the song, they got the $500. And like 5 people just stared at me like this, didn't say anything. And then finally, a sweet old lady started singing the rest of the song. So she got the funds, and yeah, I don't know how old she was, but she was awesome. And we did a little dance, and she said she's going to use it to buy food. So
Now, how are you making money because it costs money to go to these cities, and you deserve something too for all of your efforts and all of your work to.
yeah, I mean, I honestly, from my Amazon business, that's one of the main ways that I make funds. And then I'm just really frugal, and like ever since I was a kid, when I was like 14 years old, I've just been investing every month, whether it was $10 a month or $300 a month. I've just always been investing, just compound interest. I don't have any debt. My car's paid off, all that, and so I can live pretty cheap, But yeah, mainly from Amazon, and then once in a while I'll do a brand deal with like Cash App or Lyft or some of these awesome brands, and yeah, it's just amazing. My goal is just to any funds that I make from different things, like it's just to invest it, to grow it, because a lot of the bigger dreams and visions I have are gonna require a lot of funds to get them done. Like.
Yeah.
one of my main things that I really want to do is a couple of years ago, I was just in my bedroom and I was sitting there. I was like, man, why is church boring? I feel like church is kind of boring. And I was like, I don't think heaven is boring. And I was like, dang, what if church was like heaven? And so I was like, I just had this idea for like a house party church, like at this wild house where there's like 500 to 1,000 people there, and you show up and basically, yeah, we give like a 10-minute message. There's no drugs, no alcohol allowed, but it's just community, people having fun, just a 10-minute gospel message. And then my dream is just to be like, just to like call people out of the crowd and be like, who doesn't have a car or who's got car troubles? Raise your hand, get up here. You just want a brand new Model X. Like, we love you, you know? And just to, like pay off people's college debt and all these things, and really just to love people radically and show people that God is fun and holy at the same time.
You think people might hear about this though and join for the wrong reasons? Maybe they show up and it's like, yo, I heard about this new ceremony, church.
Yeah.
They're giving away Teslas.
I feel like you need to vet someone before you
definitely. It's an idea, that definitely needs a team and some more things around. But the main concept is just to have like a fun atmosphere, like heaven, be blessing people.
Sure.
And just have an offering bucket that goes around where you don't even put in it, but people can just take out whatever they need, and just like have the church run by businesses that are self-funded. And I don't know, I just want to like love people radically and just show them that God is fun and crazy, and have like a DJ there and like guest speakers skydiving in, and just I just want it to be fun and wild. Like I truly believe that God is the originator and he like creates everything, and the enemy, he just comes and he just changes things that God makes for good and turns them to bad. Like I think that if there's a college frat party down the street and they're doing drugs and it's wild and crazy, I feel like heaven would have a better party than that, because most of the people there are just sad and depressed, don't even want to be there, but are doing that. And so I just want to make things fun and just show people that he's incredible.
Where did those beliefs start for you? Was it as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I've always, gone to church since I was a little kid, and stuff. But yeah, most Sundays as I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to go to church. I just want to, play whatever, a video game, Grand Theft Auto in my room or something like that, But really, when I was 18 years old, and my socks got healed. As crazy as that is, as wild that is, that's kind of how I met Jesus. And he's just changed my life radically. And that's why I have so much hope for people's lives, because I truly don't believe if someone's a mean person, they're going to stay that way the rest of their life, I almost wanted to start like a t-shirt brand called Love Mean People. Like, I think mean people are some of the most people that just need the biggest hug, Jesus he changed my life, and it's amazing,
Did you ever get any haters online?
Not really. Not really. I mean, I not too much. Once in a while you get a hate comment or something, but I don't really care about it. Like I said, like when I erased all my stuff, and was off the internet for 4 years, I really got my identity in that and not in the videos and stuff. And so it doesn't really affect me if there's a bad comment, this or that, because there's gonna be that with anything you do. It's just you just have to make sure your heart and your motives are pure. And then the rest is, you're good.
So where are you posting your videos? YouTube, TikTok? You doing Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah.
Is it all the platforms?
Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube. Just not Twitter, because someone has my old username, and I don't want to make like a random one with numbers or something.
Yeah.
But YouTube's crazy. This last Christmas, I started posting on there. Had like 10 subscribers, something like that. And now I have like 1.5 million subscribers on there.
How much do you make from YouTube?
YouTube?
Can you share that?
Well, these are all like... These are all short form videos.
Yeah, I'm just curious because it is mostly shorts.
Yeah. So not really make a lot from YouTube, but eventually what we want to do is start making long form videos on YouTube, because there is great ad revenue in these things, because I want to just start doing crazier giveaways,
I think you could do really well, especially Facebook, making 3 to 5 minute giveaway with interview.
Yeah.
Follow these people home,
right,
and get them to share their story.
For sure.
I remember they used to do. It was really popular, like homeless people like transformations where they get somebody and like try to clean them up, get them a haircut, maybe get them new teeth or something like that, and then try to get them a job and just like, you know, help them out.
It's a tough one because on the one hand, it's like it's a nice gesture, but on the other hand, it's like, are they doing it just for the views?
Well,
I
I agree, but in Jimmy's case, I feel like the views just contributes to more money, which means helping more people, which means more money.
I mean, the end result is positive.
But yeah, to your point, that's the key. Is that's why we don't do that all the time, is because really the goal is, if there's a person that's on the street, it's not to just quick make them look nice, get them a haircut, make a video, post it, see it, goodbye. It's like we build relationships with these people. So there's a homeless lady right now that I've been helping, trying to get her off the street for the past like 5 months, and yeah, we're in the process of it right now, just getting her new teeth. Getting her a job and all these different things, and it takes a long time. You don't just pump something out like that because you're dealing with actual people, But like Norma, she's amazing. This lady Norma.
How'd you guys meet?
Who, me and my girlfriend? Yeah. So I've never had a girlfriend my whole life. Just never wanted to ask someone to be my girlfriend unless I really saw great values in them and just really connected with them, And so it was a couple months ago, I went to Kansas City to this event. It was like a Christian stadium event. And I went there to speak at one of the pre-rally things for it. And before I went up to speak, I saw this girl in the crowd. I was like, dang, that's a beautiful girl. She looks amazing. And I go up there and speak and get off the stage, come down, and then I ran into her out in the area. We started talking, and she was from Palm Springs, which is like my favorite place on earth. And we started hanging out that night. And like 5 days later, I asked her to be my girlfriend. It was really quick. It was really fast, but she's awesome. She helps me.
She said yes.
Yeah.
She said no, but here she is. Yeah.
She helps me with videos and stuff like that, and she just has an awesome, pure heart. And so.
Yeah. So is she the one now behind the camera sometimes, or do you have someone else too?
Well, it's just me usually. It's just me. I film like hidden camera style. Yeah. But yeah, definitely it helps when there's someone out there with me driving around, finding people, looking for the right person.
What was interesting to me is you said, when you were like in that stage of kind of sleeping in your car, like before the price is right and stuff like that, when you had no money, you were still giving away like a lot of what you could to random people, like you mentioned, taking people like paragliding and stuff like that. Yeah. How did you like reason that financially in order to do that? Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I always knew that like. Just from biblical principles and reading the Bible, just like, the goal is just never to really live for myself, but just to help other people out and do that. And so, ever since I was a kid, like as soon as I have $5,000 in my bank account, I'd like get rid of it the next day or week and just give it to people, help people out. And a couple of years ago, there was a very large amount. It was like, I don't know, I think it was like half of my entire net worth. And I felt like God said to give it away. And I was like, what? Like, are you sure? Like, my dad would say it's a horrible decision, or it just doesn't make sense financially, especially when you get older, and you're living on your own and stuff. But I ended up doing that anyways, gave away that money. And as soon as I did that, that's when my Amazon business like took off. It was crazy.
Who'd you give it to?
I gave it to this guy. He was from my town. He was like, they go around helping people and stuff. Him and his wife, they're just awesome people. I've been family friends with them forever. And I gave them the funds, and I actually ran into them like a couple months ago. And this was a long time ago. This was maybe 4 years ago. I gave them the money, and they say they still have the money. They still have part of it because they give it away, and someone else would randomly give it to them. They put it in the same envelope. So the envelopes never run dry. And one of my favorite people that donate to my videos, he always says, no one goes broke by giving, And so it's kind of that thing where, like when your hand is like this, like to your money, and you're greedy and you're holding it, like God can't bless you with more. But when you're giving to people, he can also bless you with more because he knows it's not an idol in your life, and you're not going to, just like, it's not going to rule you, So I love giving, and it's just really an awesome part of life just to see people transform. Like I was just telling someone this the other day, like I can remember maybe 2 times in my entire life where a random stranger blessed me with something. That's crazy, right? One instance, I was in North Dakota getting a haircut, and I was gonna pay for the haircut, and they go, yeah, the old man back there paid for your haircut. It's like $20 haircut. I was like, you're kidding me, what? And I literally got in my car, called like 50 people I knew. I was like, guys, you won't believe this. Some guy bought my haircut, because it's just it hits you when someone random pays for something. And I was like, wow, like it doesn't need to be $500 or $1,000. Like if you just get someone a coffee, like you can make their day, maybe even their month, and really impact them like that, you know?
It's neat.
I have one more question too.
Is it about Lexar, Alex?
What?
Oh, no.
Don't look at the sign back here, guys.
babies.
I thought it was
Please.
going to be about Lexar, the memory
No,
cards.
no. It's a legitimate question here. So I've seen studies that people are more inclined to be nice to you if you're good looking. And Jimmy, let's not lie here. Look at you, man. You're such a good looking man. But do you think that your looks have affected the way that people pass the kindness to us?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky question.
That's a good question,
Yeah.
Alex. That's a good question.
I guess at the end of the day, I would not really know, you know, but I would say that, I don't know, I have a bit of a strange voice, you know, like honestly, you know where my voice comes from? Like my dad, he was like forcing me. He owns a restaurant, and he forced me to like be a waiter when I was younger. I was so terrified to do it. And when I became a waiter, like you come up to these tables, and in my town where I was a waiter, everyone who comes in there, like they're a bit older, most of them. They're like 70, 80-year-old people, and you don't want to startle them, you know? So you come up and you go, hey, hello, sir, would you like anything besides water? And you get this like high-pitched voice, you know? And I guess it's kind of stuck with me that like I have this voice with this Minnesota accent. So I think it is a bit disarming. And when I come up to people, it is a bit disarming, you know, like I don't come up to people and say, hey, could you give me, you know, some money for bread? You know, it's like,
That's true.
you know, I kind of greet them in a way, but I wouldn't say that, yeah, they just help me because they think I'm a good looking kid or I'm nice, you know, because yeah, when you talk to these people, they've been helping people their entire lives. And just that one moment they were captured and it was on film.
Thing is, you look kind of like your beard is clean shaven around it. You look like you got a fresh haircut.
Right.
You know,
sometimes, a lot of times I wear a mask.
Sure.
You know, because a lot of people will come up and recognize me. And
Yeah, like if Jack did that, people would run. I'm kidding.
oh,
Immediately.
they would not.
You guys are looking similar, by the way. I have to say,
yeah,
we have to point this out.
Thank
at
you.
that.
I'll take that as a
Look at that.
compliment.
I get out of the picture.
Oh yeah,
A little bit.
One crazy
Yeah.
thing I guess I haven't brought up quite yet was, basically, it was about 4 years ago. I was in Northern California at this Christian school, and I wasn't making videos. I wasn't doing anything online. It's when I had fully given it to God, and I was there at this church. And a lady randomly comes up to me and she goes, I have a word. So like, I have a prophecy. I feel like God's speaking to me about you. And I was like, all right, what is it? And she goes, yeah, in the next 4 years, you're going to have your own TV show and all these things she starts saying. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, all right, that sounds fun, but what? Like, what are you crazy? Like, that's TV show. Like, how do you even get a TV show, you know? And it was just crazy. And I wasn't doing videos or anything. And fast forward, it's been about 4 years now, like 3.5 years, and I'm actually, I'm working with Jason Kennedy and Taylor Lautner, and we're actually having meetings this week or next week with different networks, like pitching a TV show and stuff, and it looks like it's probably going to happen. So it's just very crazy what can happen, like when you speak life into somebody, you know, and you encourage them. And yeah, I truly feel like, I'm only making videos and doing this because I feel like it's what God called me to. It just feels like, you know, like when you throw a football, it just throws right. But you dribble a football, it's all over the place, you know? And I feel like I'm doing what I was designed to do, which is just to meet awesome people, share their stories, and just inspire people to be kind and do that. Like about 30 minutes ago, I was at Target before I came here, and this lady, she's like, Jimmy from YouTube. It's funny she's at YouTube because I'm like, YouTube, but apparently, you know, I'm growing on there too. And she's like, I want a picture of this. And she goes, me and my daughter watch your videos, and now we try to buy people's stuff behind us and this and that. And that's really the best compliment I could ever get, is like they're inspired to be kind. And to realize it doesn't have to be some crazy thing. Like literally, if you just open the door for somebody, especially in Las Vegas, like they'll be shocked. They'll be like, what? You're opening the door for me, you know? And you can just, a little thing of kindness can really impact people.
And do you have any selfish desires? Like, do you want to have a fancy car or like really nice clothes or to live in a nice apartment or go on, you know, lavish fancy vacations?
Yeah. I mean, basically, I like This shirt, it's my merch that I launched. So this is like one shirt that I have, but I have like 5 black t-shirts and 5 white t-shirts. That's all I like for clothes. I don't like anything crazy. My car, I love my Honda because I can go to different rougher areas and it's not like, it doesn't stick out like, oh, let's rob this kid or something, you know? So I just like everything plain and simple like that. But as far as like selfish desires, I guess I love doing fun, wild things, like to go on a wild vacation or this, but with other people, you know, whether it be with my family or taking somebody on a trip, you know. It's really just it's fun doing stuff with other people, you know. But yeah, I'm not really into like watches or cars or nothing like that, you know. Like I just like a nice, you know, just I'm very clean. I don't know if I have OCD, maybe, you know, but my apartment is just very clean, organized, and yeah, I just like things very simple.
Yeah. What about travel? Want to travel anywhere?
Yeah, I mean, I traveled a lot. I love traveling. Right when I got out of high school, I lived in India for a while. I lived in Australia, and I lived in Brazil. So I traveled around there, and that's really kind of how a lot of my views were shaped, is just seeing different people and cultures and places. And that's why I feel like I'm able to go up to anyone and connect with them right away. And just like seeing people in those other countries, man, they're so nice. It's crazy. Like in India, like you could just walk down the street, meet somebody, and they'll like invite you to live with them for like a couple weeks. It's insane. And that was that time in India really shaped my life a lot.
What are the least friendly countries that you've been to?
Oh, the least friendly countries.
Let's start there. We'll work our way out.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, everywhere, you know, you'll run into different people, like depending on the city, wherever. But yeah, honestly, I just think that yeah, people, if they're rude, it's because something happened to them that day or that week, you know. So I don't try to like condemn or put a label on anyone, you know, because I think identity is one of the main things. And if I right now said a certain country or place, like I don't want someone to be watching it and to be like, wow, I'm from a mean place. All right, like that's who I am. That's who we are. Like,
Sure.
No, you might have a couple mean people in your town, but like that's not who you are, you know.
When's the last time you got like, road rage or something like that, where maybe like, because it happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
Where we're like, we act out of line and then we
Right.
reflect back on that maybe like later that day, a day or two later, and we're like, I shouldn't have said what I said or done what I did.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Because for me, it's just
Road
like, this is
rage.
what bewilders me. I
Right.
could never picture you doing anything of
Yeah.
that capacity.
No, I mean, I'm definitely not perfect, you know. There's no such thing as a perfect person, you know. So I would never claim to be absolutely perfect, but I would say if I ever was driving and was like, you know, got mad or this or that, like just kind of later that night, like my key is just every day try to connect with God, just either that night or in the morning, just be with Jesus. And if I find selfishness in me or if I was rude or this or that, just kind of just repent of it right then and there and just receive his forgiveness and just kind of move forward, you know. The word repentance, everyone's scared of it, but it doesn't mean really what you think it means. What it means is like to have a different perspective from like a penthouse view, like looking down at something, like you're going this way, decide to go this way. It's not like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like you don't need to cry to repent, you know. It's really just to realize, wow, that's not who I am. I can do better than that. And you just kind of move on from it. And so just kind of live a lifestyle like that, man. But there's always things that pop up, you know. There's always different things where you're like, man, I maybe was a little selfish. I didn't ask my girlfriend where she wanted to eat. I just chose where to eat or this or that, you know. But really at the end of the day, it's, just connecting with him and yeah.
And when you go and you tip at restaurants, do you tip like pretty,
Yeah.
Or do you just tip normally?
Yeah. No, I tip pretty good because I used to be a server, you know.
Yeah.
So I remember sometimes I'd get $100 tip and my head would fall off of my body. Like I would just blow me apart. And so yeah, when we go out to eat, like try to tip pretty good, you know, and bless people up. But yeah, it seems like every day. The cool thing about TikTok is I don't do a video once a week. Usually every day we do a video. So every day we usually get to bless somebody in a cool, radical way. But what we like doing more, like when I'm on my own, instead of just giving someone a crazy tip, is give them an awesome tip, but then just talk to them, get to know them, pray for them. And that's like a really cool way to impact someone versus just giving them money.
So what's your schedule like now? Like walk us through an average day.
Yeah, an average day, wake up, Yeah, just eat some cereal and basically, yeah, turn on my live stream and I just, yeah, raise $500 to $1,000 and then I go and get the money out of the ATM and then I drive around sometimes for hours, find the person, bless them, hear their story, and then go edit the video after that, work out, hang out with God for a little bit, you know, just read the Bible and just kind of repeat, do the same thing, but it's a blast, you know. It's like it'd be one thing if it was if it was really sad or difficult thing, but just hanging out with people, having fun with them, blessing them, it's like the funnest thing on the planet.
How much strategy though goes into, let's say, getting the right shot, the right video, the right person that you know would do well online?
So the key is, you know, it can be tempting sometimes to think like this, you know, and it'd be like, all right, we need the best shot, this and that. But the key when I make my best videos is when I kind of forget about all that and kind of get the heart of the video, because that's really what you can feel. Like you can feel a video. Like some people will either try to copy my videos, this, that, and sometimes they're amazing, sometimes they're great, but you can tell if someone just does it for the views or this or that. Like there's no real connection in the video. There's no real heart in it, you know? So the key is to kind of forget that and just kind of go out and just try to make someone's day, you know, make them feel loved, and the camera will capture all of that. And then you can edit it later. But it's really, yeah, to find the heart of the video and not to get too caught up in algorithms and this and that, because, you know, that's like the best thing. And I know like you guys have probably learned this, and even on YouTube, people really love that style that's not so crazy edited and it's more just raw and stuff. Like people like to just see things and not feel like it's a big, huge production, you know?
That's what I kind of feel like we're going in that direction. And I think Ryan Trahan was really a good push for that movement of just anti-editing, no big production, not spending a lot of money, something simple. People could follow it. And it helps. Ryan Trahan is really funny too.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I love those.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of
it.
But it has to be well articulated. There has to be like some sort of editing and stuff thrown in there. I don't think it has to be this big optimized thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what was it? We all watch. I love his content. What's his name? Hiller Smith.
Oh yeah, Hayden
Hiller Smith. His editing is insane.
Yeah.
His editing looks like a movie. Like you're watching a Michael Bay film.
Yeah.
And watching him go through Matthew Beam's video was insane. I agree.
He was roasting it?
Yeah.
Right.
So he goes through this video and is like, you could optimize here, you could cut this out, you could change the music. I mean, watch it. Because it blows your mind in terms of how much thought goes into every second.
Yeah, I guess I will say this. Like, for example, my video I did yesterday where it was first person to finish the lyrics to a Christmas song got $500. I was gonna read a comment for that video and say first person and give $500, and then the video would start, because that way it gives context. Otherwise, if you're just a new person watching and you just see me like going like this, you don't know someone's gonna get blessed, you don't know anything, and you'll click off. And so I actually I posted that video with no comment reading, because TikTok sometimes like bans certain words, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer wouldn't be allowed to be typed on TikTok. So I had to remove the comment.
Actually?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
Could that be like
yeah, it's really
something.
It's really strange.
Wow.
So anyways, I posted the video yesterday without the comment reading, just straight into the video, and it did horrible. It was like one of the worst performing videos ever. I was like, dang it. It's because there's no context. People don't know what's going on. So I deleted the video, re-put it up with me reading the comment, and it did really well. And so, yeah, it's just making sure people have context and understand what's going on in the video. And then two, one of my main things to do is I love at the end of my videos dancing with people. I try to end it with like joy. So even if it's emotional, this and that, it's a joyful thing. They're getting funds. They got blessed. They were kind. So we try to dance for 4 or 5 seconds at the end of each video. And the followers love it. They think it's amazing. They comment, we love the dancing. But whenever I do it, the views are way less on the video, because people right at the end, they see the video and they scroll off. And so it's kind of just navigating. Do you want to make the video for new people to come and follow and to see it, or just to really show the people that have stuck around for a long time, just to give them like a deeper connection?
Sure.
So I'll do a lot of that sometimes, where it's like, forget about if it performs way less, like people love the dancing, you know?
Should we react to a few of the videos? It might be interesting. What do you think, Jack? Sure. Let's watch these top 3 that you have pinned, okay?
All right. Yeah,
Tell us, maybe give us some of the backstory, or if you want to comment on the video, might be kind of interesting. Give us some like behind the scenes, or like anything that the viewer might not know.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Could I
Would you like face paint? No. Okay. Could I paint your face? Like a design for... Right there. Pause it right there. So yeah, this video, I shot this video. I get home to my apartment. I'm editing it. I post it. And then I always show my roommates at the end of the day, like the video I did. So I'm showing my roommates. I'm like, check this out. And my one roommate, right when he gets to this part, just starts screaming, freaking out, running around the apartment. I'm like, what? He's like, bro, do you know who that is? I was like, no. He's like, that's my stepdad. Yeah, yeah. And he's like this televangelist, like, I don't know, like he's like really famous in other countries, like this guy. Huh. And I was like, oh no, should I delete it? Like, I hope it doesn't make him look rude, but he was funny and laughed with it, but it was just super random. Like I went up to my roommate's stepdad in Walmart.
Where'd you get the idea to ask to paint people's faces?
Well, I don't know. Just hanging out, just thinking of different things. Yeah,
right.
Whatever's fun.
I would say no to that. I mean, I don't want my face painted.
I bet I might be able to get you to. It's the tone.
So. Yeah. No, but if you walked up to me in this tone and said, "Can I paint your face?" I'd be like, "No."
What if I said, "Sir, please, it'll make my whole year. If you regret it, I'll give you a new car."
If you said that, I would do it 100%. You don't need a new car part, but just like it'll make my year. I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a design for free? Okay. Hello, sir. Hi. Would you like a free face painting? Could do a design. You could even wipe it off after. Okay. You're amazing. You know that?
So who is this? How did you find this guy?
I was just driving around in my car and saw him like sitting outside of this ice cream place or whatever. And I was like, well, let's go up to him. And it was actually really special because he was very monotone, very down and out, like, hello. And by the end of the video, like you'll see it, he's like laughing and having fun. And that's why it went so viral. It was like people could see that, you know, he wasn't. Sometimes if you're shooting a video, you're like, all right, I want to find someone joyful to go up to. Yeah. But sometimes it's like, man, let's find someone who's really down and out and see if we can switch that. $500. For me? Yes, I was seeing the first person childlike enough.
I don't think I can take $500.
So you know that's legit when they're like, I can't take it. That's when you know that, like, oh yeah, no, we've got to give them the money. They're the ones that deserve it.
Yeah.
This will help me get out of here.
Really?
Actually, yeah. Everyone needs to not take themselves so serious.
I love that. That is a great ending.
Yeah.
It's not surprising why this did so well.
Right.
It's yeah. Let's watch the next one. Look at this one. 40 million views.
You need something? I was just trying to get a sad meal.
Come on, I'll get it for you.
Are you sure?
Yes, come on.
I'm just having a rough day.
No, it's okay.
Why'd he come up to you?
It was a very interesting situation. I was at this Walmart, the McDonald's in the Walmart, and I stood there for like 20, 30 minutes. I didn't even know if I was going to make a video or not. I was like trying to think of something, and people kept saying, do you want to order? Do you want to order? I was like, no, I'm good. And I was like, and then he came up to me, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, yeah, I can't afford the McDonald's.
How does he not see you record the whole interaction?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hidden camera, and yeah, I don't ever reveal exactly how I do it, just because I don't want people to figure it out or know how I do it and like come up to me or see my kind of setup.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, you can just kind of tell in people's faces and stuff that they're unaware of it.
So they thought that maybe you were just standing there, didn't have the money, or maybe you were just falling on hard times, want to help you out?
Yeah, because they kept saying, you want to order something? I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't really have much. And yeah, then he came out of nowhere. It could be like leftovers.
Good or fresh.
What'd you end up getting?
I have no idea.
All right.
A Happy Meal or something? Yeah.
One of everything.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Put on to your number, okay?
You have a great day.
You know this gentleman here?
Yeah, he's worked for Walmart for a while. Yeah.
Do you have his phone number?
I'm surprised she gave out his number.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, she gave me his number. I didn't give him the money there because, like, you're not allowed to take money sometimes where they're working.
Oh, did you ask to give him the money and he said he couldn't?
No, just from previous videos I've known. Like, you can't sometimes tip employees, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I was like, I'll wait till after this guy gets out of work.
Yeah.
I wanted to give you this gift I got.
Oh, thank you.
This is for you. There's $1,000.
Are you serious?
Yes, I do undercover kindness.
Oh my
You're
God.
amazing.
I like his shirt. Why is no one commenting on the shirt? I love that.
All the comments are about the shirt.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Can I go like this?
Absolutely. Oh.
I was raised in a foster home. I was always taught to give even if I don't have. I was falling behind on my car payment, so now I can catch up.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait, he put his, what is this, Cash App?
Yeah, I showed his Cash App in the video, and he got like 10, 15,000 came in.
Holy
Yeah, crazy. That's what's so wild. It's like I'm kind of just doing the little that I can and that I can raise, but then it's really just giving this video to the internet, and then they take it the extra mile.
Gosh.
My first ever like viral video on TikTok was I was actually on a road trip in California with one of my friends, and he was just freaking out and stuff, and I don't know, he was having a rough day, and just he made the road trip. It was a rough road trip. Like, I don't know, he didn't have some of his medication and stuff, and was just angry all the time, and this and that. And so I was in Northern California, and I was actually sad because of what he was going through and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna go to McDonald's right now and order a sad meal, because I am sad. And I ordered a sad meal at McDonald's, and that video got like 9 million views.
Wow.
And that's what started everything. But
Do you have any other questions for us? Anything we could answer for you?
yeah,
Anything
questions
else
for you
mention?
guys is yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's just awesome that you guys got a podcast. I was thinking the other day, is like, I'd love to do a podcast. I feel like it's just so hard though to know like questions to ask. and
No,
all
you
that.
could do podcasts with some of the people that you feature on TikTok.
Yeah.
Not, the podcast Soft White Underbelly.
Just like that. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Really?
But with a positive spin, because I watch a lot of those videos, and there's not a lot of it. It's, you hear these really interesting stories and you hear their perspective, but I feel like yours is very uplifting,
Yeah.
and you feel better afterwards. So,
Right.
sometimes with Soft White Underbelly, I'm left like, oh man, like what did I just hear?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So if you did something like that, just 20 minutes.
Right.
I wouldn't do an hour.
Right.
20 minutes. Edit it up, maybe 30 minutes max.
Just get
their
some of these
backstory.
babies right here.
Yeah, and then bless them at the end.
Yeah.
Or, if you enjoyed the story, you want to reach out to them, you want to help in some way, something like that would be
Yeah,
really nice.
for sure.
Don't
But-
worry about the questions.
Yeah.
They'll do most of the
I
time.
feel like your audience could get really attached to some of the people you help out. And I'm sure that they would want to hear their entire story. Like to us, it's very interesting how people get in certain situations.
Yeah, it would be fun. I love it. I love it
Start
talking.
it.
People asking.
Start it. That's your next thing.
Yeah.
Do the podcast.
Oh, baby. All right.
There
I'm
you go.
coming out with one.
There you go.
That would be
please,
fun.
Please do, and just make sure that they hit the like button.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
subscribe,
Oh,
and preferably get a free stock down below in the description.
What else? I
Nice.
mean, is there anything else you wanted to discuss? Any exciting things?
Yeah, I think just the main thing is just I'm excited to see if this TV show thing happens. That will be crazy, because we'll be able to help people on a whole different scale, like give away houses and all this stuff. Like, that will just be insane and so fun to do. And partner up with celebrities doing it is kind of the vision and the goal. But I'm excited to do that. And then I guess any other stories really or anything. I think the main thing is just I couldn't do any of this without the people that donate to the videos, and just really you have to, for anyone out there that wants to do something similar to this, you got to start small, whether it be buying someone's coffee or $10, $20, and once you build trust with the audience, then you can kind of be able to raise money and then be able to go give that away to people, because they're not just going to donate if they don't know you or don't trust you or see you giving away your own money, Yeah. So that's a key for anyone out there watching, and I would just say, there's different ways to be kind that you can really impact somebody's life, and it's amazing what you can do to somebody by just spending the time talking to them and helping them out. And I'm just so grateful to be able to get to do this, and I just love it. I can't wait to find the next person on the street, because right now there's somebody out there that they just had bad luck. They just had a couple bad things happen to them, and they're out there, and they just need someone to believe in them. I guess the other thing I was just going to say is I'm excited as far as YouTube goes, because I've been trying to find a format for longer form videos. And instead of just hidden camera, this or that, like, we created a place on my website where you can fill out your story, a 3-minute video submission, and then we kind of go through these and just we'll be able to pick stories and go have permission to film, go and do these videos where we get to change their life through crowdfunding and stuff. And
Do follow-up. I think your YouTube channel, 20-30-minute follow-ups, interviews with the people you help, because that way everyone that sees your TikToks, they want to know the full story. Like, I'd be curious on that guy.
Right.
I go to the channel and watch a 20-minute interview.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see it behind the scenes too. I know you said you didn't want to reveal how you film or whatever you have going on there, but it'd be cool like waking up, a day in the life of Jimmy Darts or something, or someone films you filming the thing, and it's like, this is the behind the scenes.
You know what? I worry
that
that would ruin the magic. I think there's something magical about not knowing.
Really?
Yeah.
The magic.
I think so. Honestly. I think the mystery is
of how he filmed, of what it's like to give money to people.
Yeah, I think it's simpler for people to see the 45 seconds And
Well, he'd release
But-
that first on
I know,
TikTok. and
no, but
I
I-
think it would be funny also to see your face when you're giving away money.
My face?
Yeah.
Like a be-real thing?
Yeah, where it's like you're
Be
showing,
real.
you're like, oh, and you're like
That'd be
smiling
amazing
all
if
big.
that camera worked both
Yeah,
ways.
yeah, that would be cool too.
That'd be awesome.
well, thanks, man.
Thanks,
Yes,
appreciate it.
Let me get a
awesome, guys.
thumbnail of you really
All
quick.
right, perfect.